So in Google Classroom, you will see that today we are completing this pixel art for review. When you open the Google Sheet, you should see where you have these answers on this one tab. Then, and you're gonna put, so solve each equation, type your answer in each box. So essentially, you're just typing the number only in this blue square. So on your sheet that you have in front of you, or if you don't have the sheet for some reason, you should have it, all of you here. You can always do this on a separate sheet of paper. You'll just have to write out the problem. So make sure your name is on it. And you can put the hour. So here is number 1 from the pixel art. 2x plus 8 equals negative 12. All right, so these two-step equations, the first step, remember, is to add or subtract to remove the constant. The constant is just the number that's on the side of the variable. Remember, this is our variable, so this is our constant. It's a number by itself. Step 2 is to multiply or divide to remove our coefficient. Remember, our coefficient is this number right in front of the variable. So we're going to do a few of these together, and then you're going to finish up. So what do I do first? Make sure you're showing all your work, because this is the sheet you're turning in for credit. I want to see both steps, so be sure you're showing your work. Yes, Xander, I know. Close your mouth. There you go. Not so shocking after all. All right. How do I get rid of plus 8 on the left? Subtract 8 from both sides, because 8 minus 8 is 0, right? Then I would bring down my variable term, which is 2x. Bring down my equal sign. What's negative 12 minus 8? Negative 20. Good. Our signs are the same, so we find the sum. So hopefully you practiced this yesterday in the GIM kit. Make sure you go in that. Also, here's a plug-in reminder to be sure you marked it as done if you either played live with us or have gone and done the assignment in GIM kit. So here I'm dividing by the coefficient, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1x is the same as x, and that's what I want. So now I have to do this. Negative 20 divided by 2, thank you, Xander, is indeed negative 10.
Let's go.
So in my pixel art, I would put just the number in here. And it should reveal some pixels if it's correct. Now be careful, because our paper does go down too. So I'm going to do number 6 now, which is at the top.
Oh yeah.
So this is flipped around a little bit, but we still have to identify what the constant is and get rid of it. We have to get rid of the negative 6. So what do I need to do to both sides? Add 6 to both sides. So 6 minus 6 is 0. I'm left with x over 4 is equal to, what's negative 5 plus 6? 1. So be sure I put parentheses over it, because if I'm dividing x by 4, to undo that, I have to multiply the whole thing by 4. Whatever I do to the left side, I have to do to the right side. We do this because 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1x is just x, and that's what we want. What's 1 times 4? 4. So that you would put 4 into that blue box there. Now I like these 3 because it kind of moves x around on you, right? 11, where is my constant that's connected to the x? Which constant is connected to the x? I have two constants, right? I have a -18 and a 15. They're both numbers by themselves. But I don't need to get rid of this -18. I need to get the x by itself. So I have to get rid of the constant that's on the side of the x. So how do I get rid of 15? I need to make it 0, right? So I'm going to subtract it. Whatever I do to the right side of my equal sign, I have to do to the left. This is getting more negative. So -33 is equal to, this was 0, and I have a 3x on the right. How do I get the x by itself? How do I make that 3 a 1? Divide it by itself. You have to multiply or divide to remove the coefficient. So -33 divided by 3 is -11. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I just have 1x over here. So I'm just putting in the number -11 here. Don't freak out about decimals. If you want to do 2 and maybe 13. So 2 is a little bit different, but it's very similar. Instead of subtracting 8 like we did here, we have to do the opposite of it to get rid of -8. I got to do it to both sides. I'm showing all my work neatly. I've got -x is equal to 14. Am I done here? No, because we want to know what positive x equals. What's the opposite of x? -x. So if we take the opposite of that, we have to take the opposite of 14. What's the opposite of 14? -14. Okay. Now be careful when you're entering in this into your pixel art that the numbers in the equations correspond with the correct spot. Looking at 13. What do I need to get rid of first? The 2.5 or the -4.5? Which one? The 2.5, the one that's close tied to the x. So I've got to subtract it, take the opposite of it from both sides. Now, that is 0. I'm left with 7x on the left, but here my signs are the same, so I'm really finding the sum. A half and a half is a whole, so I'm carrying the 1. And I have 4, 5, 6, 7. But it is a -7. So I have to divide both sides by the coefficient to get 1x. So x is equal to? -1. Excellent, -1. Okay, so that leaves you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 problems. That is it. So you should have plenty of time to do that, get it entered, show your work. Make sure you have participated either in the live yesterday or done the assignment for yesterday's assignment. Remember, every one of these days leading up to the PSAT, there's an assignment that you need to turn in. So in order to get credit for this pixel art here, be sure you're showing all of your work and turning this in along with turning in the pixel art with your work checked there. Okay, so 2 parts to today's assignment. Turn this in and turn it in Google Classroom. Yesterday, bless you. Mark it as done when that is done, so I know to grade it. Along with 1 topic of Alex learned every day. So learn 4 topics. Anything more than that gets covers other missing points or is counted as extra credit. So do your best to be productive this next week and a half so that you are well prepared and have some basic review done for the PSAT next week. All right.